I had a situation where I worked for a company for a while, and they decided they didn't want to pay me. So I sent them an affidavit of truth. They did not respond. So then I sent them, filed a lien. I went down to the county courthouse and I filed a lien on them. And then I took steps to begin enforcing that lien through the local sheriff. Once they saw that I meant business, well, guess what? They suddenly had a change of heart and they decided to pay me. So again, I have done this, and this is extremely powerful. So now I want to show you how to do a conditional acceptance. And a conditional acceptance is basically, it's a commercial affidavit. And so this is actually the lien, or the conditional acceptance that I sent to the company that I just mentioned. So I'm going to turn it over here, and I hope you can see that. It says here, conditional acceptance. In other words, what you're saying when you say conditional acceptance, you're saying that I conditionally accept your offer or your position. I'm accepting. We're not having a controversy here. I am accepting on these following conditions, or this is a conditional acceptance. Now, and then under here, I wrote, this is not a justiciable controversy. So what you're saying is that we don't have a controversy here. I accept with these conditions here. See, courts, another legal principle that I understood as I started studying is that courts only examine controversies. And if there is no controversy, then there's no judge that is going to take your case in his courtroom. And so right up front, you're explaining here, I am conditionally accepting your position, your allegation, your offer, whatever it is. I am conditionally accepting. We don't have a controversy here. So there is no need to go to court. I'm not going to go to court. Because any judge that sees this and says, we don't have a controversy here, is going to say, get out of my courtroom. You're wasting my time. And then here, notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. In other words, I'm explaining, because I sent this through certified mail with a return receipt requested. And a lot of times they'll play the game of, oh, well, I didn't get your letter, I missed it, or we weren't there, we were on vacation. But when you send it certified mail, return receipt requested, there is something called the postal rule, which we will also go over. I'm going to explain the postal rule, because the postal rule is very powerful. That once they've accepted, and either the principal or their agent has signed the little green card that you send with your conditional acceptance, then according to the postal rule, you have a contract. They have already agreed that they are agreeing to this contract, unless they come back and rebut via commercial affidavit, sworn affidavit, point by point. So you're letting them know, oh, you didn't get the letter? Well, somebody signed that green card. So notice to the agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. So then, of course, I've got my name here in the from category, and I've signed it here with my human name. This is my human name, which is Gus hyphen Sochet colon last name O'Haron, then beneficiary. Because what I'm explaining here is, hey, I am the beneficiary of this action here, cell phone company, whatever company, mortgage company, auto finance company. You put your situation on. You're the beneficiary. You're the beneficiary of the trust action here. So This establishes who you are and what your role is in this whole thing. You are the beneficiary, and they are the trustee. And as a trustee under law, they have certain duties and responsibilities that they have to adhere to. So then, under the to category here, and I left a lot of, well, this I left out because these are the people, these are the principals of the company where I sent this to, who were trying to not pay me. These were the two owners of this company. I sent each of them a copy of this, certified mail, return receipt requested, and then right here I put the actual certified mail receipt number. So this then becomes, this number, once it's here, it becomes a contract number. They've signed for it. Either them or their agent has signed for it, and now we have a contract. So, and then I have another section here of this conditional acceptance which says, with service and designation of witnesses to. So I am sending copies of this entire controversy to these witnesses. And I started with the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick E. Garland, Attorney General. In other words, I have sent him a copy of this to his office. He has now become a witness. So if we end up before a sheriff's grand jury, he's a witness. I can call the Attorney General of the United States to come and witness this matter. I also sent a copy to the Federal Trade Commission, the Office of the Inspector General. So again, by doing this, I made the Inspector General of the United States my witness. Same thing, Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General, Ashley Moody, Florida Attorney General, same thing. So all of these witnesses here are now, I have recruited them as witnesses. So had this matter, and it didn't go that far because once they saw this, it was hilarious, man. They were ignoring my phone calls. I kept going up there, hey, can I get my paycheck? Can I get my check? And oh well, the boss is out of town right now, and you know he's and he's the only one that can write the check. And I went on and on and on with this, and finally I called their agent. And I said, listen, if you know what's good for you, I'm not coming back up there. I'm not going to make another phone call. You're going to find me. Find me today and put a check in my hand. And they laughed. And so I went home and typed up this conditional acceptance. It took them about 2 weeks. But they went to their attorneys and did whatever they did. I'm not really sure, but I can tell you they saw the light really quick. And I apologize for the light. The sun's coming up out here. I'm going to move the phone over just a little bit so the sun is not glaring right there on your on the screen. So the next section of the conditional acceptance is the pertinent laws. And so I went into the pertinent laws of the state of Florida, because this was a Florida contract, and I listed the state laws and also some of the other laws. And here you're going to see that I listed these 10 maxims of law, and I put in bold the ones that we're standing on here. Truth must be, let's see, I'm reading backwards here. Truth is expressed in the form of an affidavit. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth in commerce. An unrebutted affidavit stands as judgment in commerce. I'm letting them know, hey, unless you want to rebut this affidavit, this is going to stand as judgment. And then number 10 here, a lien or a claim can only be satisfied by rebuttal, by an affidavit point by point by a jury, a sheriff's common law jury, which you can convene by going to your local sheriff, or by payment or by performance of the claim. So they've either got to rebut it, we will go before a jury, or they can pay or they can perform. That's it. Those are the only options they have once you send them this. This is extremely powerful. I have used this on several occasions and got all the attention that I needed and then some, and then got done what I needed to get done without getting the runaround. Use this to educate your local, your public officials, your public servants. Remind them that they are indeed servants, that they work for you. It is you that pays their salary. So I listed, pertinent laws here. Went into certain definitions of different things that I was defining. I'm going to do another video, and I'm really going to break down this conditional acceptance and show, in a lot more detail. So right now we're just kind of giving a high-level view of this matter. So then, after I went through the definitions and the pertinent laws, I addressed this letter, and you can see I've blotted out the names here, but I addressed them as trustees. Remember, I put my name as the beneficiary. I'm the beneficiary, you're the trustee. And what does a beneficiary do? A beneficiary does nothing but benefit. That's all a beneficiary is to do. That's the only responsibility they have, is to benefit. The trustee has the responsibility and the duty under law to perform the trust action and to complete the terms of the trust. So I identified them as trustees. And so I said here, I received your rather weak and dismissive letter. The conditional acceptance that I sent was not a request. The contract is amended due to your failure to respond via commercial affidavit and the postal rule. Please note that I am sending all copies of your responses to all of the designated witnesses listed above, and thus putting you on record in case we go before a sheriff's common law Article 3 jury. As I stated in my previous conditional acceptance, I will have nothing to do with incorporated commercial courts. And so we go on. Then, right here, the avouchment. So this is where I I had it signed. Well, I signed it myself with my beneficiary signature and put here autograph of the non-incorporated living man. This is not my ens legis. This is not my corporation that was started by my birth certificate. This is not Gus O'Haron, the all caps corporate entity. This is Gus O'Haron, the living man, the autograph of the living man. And then I signed here with my beneficiary signature. And then state of, county of, and then this is where the notary will affix their seal to this conditional acceptance. Once you send this commercial affidavit to resolve a dispute, whatever you say, unless it is rebutted point by them, it stands as truth in commerce. These are the maxims of law. Or you go before a grand jury, or they can comply. So this is the power and how you utilize these 10 maxims of commercial law. And again, nobody ever taught me this when I went to school. I have never heard anything like this until I started putting my nose into the books and began using the gift that God gave me to read and to comprehend and interpret, large volumes of information, and begin to put this to work, that I begin to see some incredible changes in my life. And this is why I really feel a passion in my heart to share this with all of you, so that we can begin to live out our role as the sovereigns of this land, the kings and queens that God has intended us to be. The chosen generation, the royal priesthood. We can't be a royal priesthood if we're living like slaves. And we've been, giving lip service to, yes, we're kings and queens and we're sovereigns, in the spiritual realm and all of this, but that also has to play out not only in the spiritual, but also in the natural as well. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something, and we'll see you again on the next video. Thanks for listening.